Hello, everybody. I am.
Hey,
You know who I am. You know who I am.
I am Don.
And I'm Beau.
Racer X. Unknown to me, he is my long lost brother. Just leave this in. I love it.
Oh, it's been a while since you guys have seen me.
Yeah.
I've been working a whole lot.
Yeah.
A whole lot. And but you know what? The Sunday has always been our standard Sunday spot, except for when it was a Saturday podcast.
Oh yeah, that was.
It was originally a Saturday podcast, but now it's a Sunday podcast.
Like two people who will correct you on that. From our loyal fan base. Don around Wiki.
Sunday's always been our standard. We're live once again, and we're going to talk about a game that I played in my youth.
Yeah.
I played. The first time I played it was I saw 1 and 2 were in a discount package for $10 at Walmart.
Oh, that's a good feeling.
That's a super good feeling.
Yeah, right next to Barbie's Mystery Adventure.
No, it was, you remember the little single disc they used to have? And they were like Jewel Quest. Well, Fallout 1 and 2 was there. And we're talking about Fallout. And this wasn't that long after the release. This was maybe the year 1999. So they were still fairly new. I don't know why they were so cheap at Walmart in Boonville. But anyway, I put them in. And there was cuss words, sex, literal drugs.
Lots of them, yes.
Lots of sex, lots of cuss words. The Bethesda versions are very PG-13.
Yeah, compared to, I actually have notes just so I can remember all the things they packed into that little disc.
Yeah, so we're going to start with Fallout 1. That's going to be the first podcast.
We're talking
Next
about Fallout
week, we'll talk about
1.
Fallout 2.
Yeah, the real one and then the realer one.
Fallout 1 has such a simple post-apocalyptic premise.
Yeah.
You're running out of water.
Yeah.
I know. I know.
Your boss comes up to you and says, "Hey, Joe, are you busy?"
Dude,
we got 150. Oh, I think he actually says we have 4 to 5 months of water left because our water supply is running out because you have something called a water chip which regulates the water supply for Vault 13. Unfortunately, you were supposed to get more of those as replacement parts, but corporate messed up and sent you more of something else instead.
this is before we know all this bullshit that Fallout 4 pulled with the vaults and the truth about the vaults and stuff like that.
Yeah, that kind of comes like they kind of come into that a little bit with with Fallout 2. Like the president of the Enclave will talk about some of the experiments, but they're not out and out wacky like they are in 3.
Yes, they're just stupid and wacky in 3 and 4. But the game, if you could believe it, the game used to have a much more.
It's still wacky, but not in stupid ways.
It's wacky, but there's still a very legit science fiction. They didn't, you know what? It was 50 sci-fi in the way that the story moved and everything. It wasn't 50 sci-fi in the fact that it shoved this imagery down your throat. Yeah, that didn't make any goddamn sense.
It trusts you to understand that there's a Monty Python reference tucked away in there somewhere.
Precisely. It's. I think that's 2 though.
Yeah, that's 2.
Yeah.
Where there's Fallout 2 is really fun, but Fallout 1 is a lot more serious. And one of the big things I didn't really I grew to hate about Fallout 3 was once you explore the map, it has that Skyrim feeling. Like, okay, I did it. That's all there is. Like I keep thinking in this huge, beautiful brown world that there'd be something cool. And I think I found that something cool, and it was the Republic of Dave.
Oh, God.
Okay, that was it. That was the game. I don't know. Those are the big. Oh yeah, and Liam Neeson was over there for like a hot minute, and then he actually had like a character in the story, but then his story ended, and the game kind of went going anyway without him.
Oh, dude, and the last boss is so sad in Fallout. This is the last thing I'm going to say about Fallout 3. I walked in on the last boss when you walk into that room. And I twitch shot. Like, I was like, oh my God. And I shot him, and that was it. That was the boss.
You know what?
And it doesn't make any sense. Well, the mutant would have been fine.
Let's just put a lid on that and talk about that at the end of this, because we're going to tell you a good story, and then we're going to cap it with the terrible ending of that story. So, yeah, like you have been selected to leave your home to go out into the wasteland. It's 84 years after nuclear war.
And no one's been out.
No one has
You'll be
left.
the first one to have ever done it.
Vault 13 has is a working vault. It's you find out in Fallout 2, it's the control vault. It wasn't supposed to mess up. It messed up because of corporate.
Right.
But yeah, they give you some basic supplies and tell you to go out there and find a water chip. And they do, and you're not given a pointer like in Fallout 3. You're not given a quest pointer and given the exact longitude, latitude, go to this specific pixel.
Right.
Your overseer tells you, hey, the best place to find a vault water chip would be another vault. Makes perfect sense. Mm-hmm. We know that there is another vault, Vault 15, that way. He marks it on your map and says, good luck. So as you're trucking on the little overworld map, you pass another place called Shady Sands. Well, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, there's civilization. There are people who are rebuilding. They're not waiting for somebody to pop out.
And you had no idea this was going on in this. I want to frame that perfectly. Yeah, you guys didn't know anything that was going on.
Yeah, the only things you've seen since leaving your vault is a rad scorpion. Mm-hmm. A giant monster. Like, okay, are there people out here? Well, yeah, there are. There's a whole community right there. Mm-hmm. It's not my mission. I'm going to go to Vault 15, find the water chip, and go home.
You don't go to Shady Sands?
You don't have to.
I always fuck around to go to Shady Sands.
The way the game is framed, you can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I always do that.
But you could also role play in character. That's not my job. So you go to Vault 15,
right.
And then you realize, okay, I need a rope to get down to the lower levels. Well, let me rack my brain. Humans make ropes. I'm pretty sure I remember that from my history of Boston. So let's go back to that Shady Sands, which we've uncovered, which it's impossible to miss if you're playing the game. Mm. And the game doesn't tell you. There's no text box that appears like,
Vault Dwellers, you need a rope. Shady Sands, people
check
make
out,
rope.
There's
Mega Man, people make rope.
So you go to Shady Sands to barter.
Oh my God, Mega Man Legends is post-apocalyptic.
It is true.
I just now
It's very post-apocalyptic. There's 8 apocalypses crammed into that. One for every X game, basically. But yeah, you just go to Shady Sands and hey, I need a rope. Well, we need some anti-venom from rad scorpions. Okay, I have that. Here you go. Here's a rope.
Isn't this a town with Tandy?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's got voice acting, and she's got that weird 90s CGI face. She's spunky. She's basically Jubilee.
Yep. The
same level of...
I believe her dad is in charge.
Aradesh, yes.
Yes.
Kind of a cool... These Shady Sands is... actually, I have notes from the Fallout wiki because there are people who are bigger nerds than I am who have done the work. So.
Thank you, nerds.
So Shady Sands is one of the groups that came out of Vault 15, that vault that you just came out of, which makes perfect sense. They didn't go that far.
Right.
They found a good spot to
set up shop.
Yeah. Vault 15 was once occupied by an enormous number of people of different ideologies and cultures. The overcrowding and diversification led to different groups. This leads to several leaving over the course of a period of time, including the Khans, the Vipers, and the Jackals. All of them. They're all gangs.
The Khans.
It's kind of interesting, yeah. Kind of ironic considering what happens later in Vegas.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, everything's kind of ironic.
New Vegas, by the way, is a real Fallout game. We'll frame that.
Yeah. And then, lastly, the people who founded Shady Sands. So, Shady Sands is not particularly advanced. They're not stupid. Mm-hmm. They use their Garden of Eden creation kit to make a farming community, and they've got a doctor. They've got a system of education. Then there's a guy with Ian with a leather jacket, and who's good with guns. He'll say he's good with a submachine gun, but don't give him a submachine gun, or he will cut you in half. And it's fine. You get a rope. You go back to Vault 15. Turns out there's no water chip there. Of course. So what are you going to do? Well, you're just going to look. You're just going to explore. Mm-hmm. Now, there's another place. There's also that mission where you save Tandy from the Khans, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. You save her because she wants to go explore the world like you, but she's young and she's Jubilee. And she doesn't have any cool powers.
So you got to Wolverine her back to the village.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And so the next place you might run into, just exploring the map naturally, is a place called Junktown, which is, suitably called Junktown because it's made out of junked cars. Mm-hmm. Just big walls of junked cars. And
cool guard at the gate. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? This is civilization. Most of these guys have probably never seen a computer in their life, but there's a chance one of them might know about a water chip. Mm-hmm. They've got salvage here. You never know. Mm-hmm. So you go in, and
that's really what the game's about, is asking around about this. It's a very
do you have RAM? I would like to play Crysis. So you run into this really cool sheriff kind of character.
I love him.
Killian Darkwater.
Yeah. Yep.
Most people find what they're looking for. You walk into his shop / law office. Right. And he's like there's no quest marker, but some guy just kind of walks in and tries to shoot him. And you don't have to get involved. Mm-hmm. But you just looked into this man's dreamy eyes. Most people find what they're looking for. Oh, I think I already have. So of course you help Killian kill this guy who just barged into his shop and tried to shoot him. Right. And then Killian explains, that's probably because Gizmo, the local casino boss, is trying to kill me because I'm cramping his business. Well, that's... let's go talk to Gizmo and get his side of the story. I want him dead because he cramps my business.
Oh, and his CGI portrait is beautiful.
He's like the Animal Farm where you look like you take a pig and you put him next to that guy. I can't tell the difference. Socialism's bad. That's what I'm getting from this.
He looked like Chief Wiggum from Simpsons.
I want him dead because he cramps my business. Love that line read. And, of course, the natural inclination is to kill this guy because Killian's cool.
Right.
But in the end game, Killian keeps the town isolated, and it kind of goes to shit because no one wants to move there and just live under his authoritarian rule, whereas Gizmo... despite being objectively a bad person, attracts population growth.
And this is sort of like this is what was interesting about Fallout was it's not a moral choice game in the sense that you have like good and bad options.
Yeah.
And there's now you have the karma system, but it's not necessarily it's like the only way to get bad karma thing is like to kill villagers.
Yeah, for no reason.
But it's interesting in that these quests don't always have squeaky clean outcomes. Fallout is one of those games where it's like RPGs are always about saving the world, but what was interesting to me about Fallout was that there ain't no saving this world, man. It fucking sucks, and that's just the way it's going to be forever. And that, to me, I think is the heart and soul of the Fallout series, and the reason why 3 and 4 fail so badly is because you do save the world, and it doesn't make any fucking sense.
You could do things that have a real impact. That's a huge deal, but generally it's not going to be cut and dried A to B, great man theory of history. It's like you nudge things.
Right.
You're a variable.
Right.
Anyway.
Oh, that's perfect. Your character's a variable in Fallout 1 and 2. And I think that's what New Vegas did so well again. It just so happened you were a variable interacting with the great man of history. Of course, the house always wins, ladies and gentlemen.
It's because you have that... Your connection to the MacGuffin is what makes you cool.
Right.
You made your last delivery, kid.
You can have a MacGuffin in a story, just don't make it your main character.
Yeah.
It's fine.
If Josh Sawyer and Chris Avallone had been, behind New Vegas, it would have House would have been said, "You're important because you're my long lost son."
Oh God, yeah.
Only you can decide the fate of the Mojave. But instead, it's just House. Look, you know where this coin is. You probably have a good look. You want revenge and money. I assume I can work with this. No, you wanted power too.
But yeah, but you. Spoiler alert: you don't find the chip in Junktown.
No.
You don't even find a good lead.
You don't even find a car. That comes in the second game.
It's a town made of cars. Water, and not a drop to drink.
Speaking of water, there is a good place to get water, and it is the Hub, a major commercial town. Sorry. There's a bunch of caravans. They go to all the different little hovels.
Is this the one with the wicked awesome mutant character?
No, I think that's the second one.
That's right.
There is, of course, Harold, who is kind of a mutant. He is a ghoul, and he's got a little sapling growing out of his head. It's a little distressing, but hell, people have worse problems in this universe. And ghouls, of course, are the people who got irradiated and turned into the comic book version of what radiation does to you.
Right.
Whereas you look like you have radiation poisoning, but guess what? You're actually immortal.
Right.
So good luck with that.
We should mention this is not a hard science fiction game.
And to be fair, there is another reason that ghouls turn into ghouls instead of just die from radiation poisoning, and that's low-level exposure to another MacGuffin.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
we'll find that out later. But for now, there's a zombie.
Yeah, Harold is kind of the cool. He was a big caravaner back in the day. And he gives you some good history of the world. He actually was around before the war because ghouls are incredibly long-lived. And he wasn't around for a long time before the war, but he remembers all the chaos of it, and he's kind of got that jaded outlook. Anyway, Harold talks about how the reason he looks the way he does today is because he and a bunch of other friends has found out that there was this military base, Mariposa military base. And they thought, there's probably some good stuff to loot and sell. You know that thing the character has been doing. You can sympathize. And they lose 2 of their party to automated sentry guns and traps and things like that. But he and his friend make it into the depths where they find vats of green goo. And there is some kind of accident where Harold is injured and his friend gets dunked completely in the goop. The Nickelodeon gack.
Yeah.
And he never sees his friend again. But after some time after his escape, he starts turning into a ghoul because he was exposed to the forced evolutionary virus, which is what is a big part of the plot of the whole series. It was an attempt by the United States government to create super soldiers. And you do eventually start seeing the fruits of that research unrestrained in the sci-fi, we lost control. What has science done?
The super mutants.
Yeah. And so the hub, you can do one big thing in the hub, apart from all the cool side quests, and that is, you know how your vault is running out of water, and if you really take your time dicking around, because there is a timer, you have to get the water to your vault, you can give yourself some more time by just ordering water. Give some guy 2,000 bottle caps and the location of your vault, and he will send a caravan of Dasani to your vault.
And then the vault leader looks at it and says, God damn it, I wanted Aquafina. This is fantastic. What the hell's he doing out there?
Knew we should have sent one of the other 2 pre-made characters. One of which is the son or grandson of a Soviet diplomat, which means the United States and the Soviet Union were getting along just fine.
Right.
It was the Chinese and their Chinese virus that caused the problem. Anyway, the other thing you get in the hub is a lead. There is another place called Vault 12 where that's a vault. It's a place where we might find some water. The thing is, Vault 12 had a little bit of a quirk, and it turns out this was intentional as one of those wacky science experiments. It just gets revealed later in the series. It's in what was once Bakersfield. You get there, and it's just all ghouls. All of them. Everyone is a ghoul.
This takes place in California, by the way.
Yeah, all California.
Was once California. The first and second game is completely in California.
Yeah, so you go out, you get away from the coast, and it's just ghouls running around them. So it's true to life. And so the ghouls basically say, yeah, we we were all in Vault 12, and then when we tried to seal the vault, it wouldn't seal. So the radiation got in. It's okay, I guess. We're still alive, technically. Some of you probably had to shoot your way through some of the feral guys. I guess that's our fault for not keeping them pinned up, I guess. But whatever. Anyway, you want our vault chip? You want our water chip? Well, that's the thing. We need water too. So unless you can fix our water pump situation, I don't think. Okay, I got a repair skill. So, of course, fortunately, you see the game through isometrics, top down. So as you're walking through trying to find a way to fix their water pump, you see some big Hulk figures hiding in a water closet with miniguns. And this becomes an issue. Oh, yeah, the super mutants. That's probably what you're talking about. Yeah, they kind of showed up here looking for vault dwellers, and they shot us for a while, and then we convinced them that we actually are the vault dwellers. So now we're under their occupation. I guess you could, if you feel like it, you could kill them, but mostly we just need water. They mostly leave us alone. So that's your first big clue that super mutants are a thing. Mm-hmm. This is another aspect of this world that there's giant rad scorpions, there's gangsters, raiders, there's fat casino owners, and there's Hulks with miniguns. So you fix the water pump and you get a water chip because they don't need it anymore. And, okay, mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. You go back home. Overseer says, "Oh, let me install this sucker." Yep, it works. It works. Job well done. Oh, so what'd you see? See anything cool out there? Oh, you saw some super mutants? And they had heavy ordnance? You know what? We need someone to go out there and investigate that. And look who just volunteered himself. Mm-hmm. So now you got to go back out into the wasteland and start, doing some detective work.
Mm-hmm. So you got your deer stalker and your magnifying glass.
So you go to
following these comically large footprints.
So you go to the Boneyard, which is L.A., and you find the followers of the apocalypse, who are basically anarcho-syndicalist punks.
I love L.A. in this game.
I know.
It's called the Boneyard. It's this perfect dude, it's total the rest of the game is this very modern look on post-apocalyptic, and then you get to the Boneyard and it's 100% fucking Road Warrior.
Yeah.
And it screams dingy heavy metal. It's got this great. I believe there's a lot of neon signs.
Yeah.
It's great. Dude, the imagery of LA in this game is just fucking perfect.
Cuervo Jones and Kurt Russell are having a basketball match somewhere. Steve Buscemi looks in his rearview mirror and sees Kurt Russell surfing towards him. Anyway, one of these characters tells you that there's another cult, and like any good fringe leftist group, they know exactly what's going on before anyone else does. There's this the children, we followers of the apocalypse are all about preserving knowledge and helping people, but these guys are a little weird. So we have an agent infiltrating them, and these children, they're up to something. They're in this weird cathedral.
And then I know where you're going.
Yeah. And there's also another group of people, the Lost Hills Bunker, and there's people in power armor with really cool guns, or at least one, and he's kind of a nice guy, to be honest. I mean, you show up. You're like, oh, hey, you state your business, I guess. We don't get too many visitors. So you guys look pretty cool. What's your deal? Oh, we're the Brotherhood of Steel. We're dedicated to preserving civilization and protecting technology. Can I join? Oh, let me ask. This is above my pay grade, man. I just work here. So he comes back out like, okay, you must go on a holy quest to the glow and bring back a sacred artifact. Okay, that's fine. I've been collecting sacred artifacts all day. That's fine. So you go to the glow, and it's surrounded by corpses.
It's ground zero of one of the nukes, isn't it?
It's one of the nukes.
Yeah.
There is a crater. So you just hop yourself up on anti-radiation drugs and rappel down into this place, constantly taking radiation damage, grab the thing, and bring it back. Dude, what the Holy shit, he made it. Okay, I guess we have to let him in. So, like, one thing... Okay, so this is where part where Fallout and Fallout 3 really kind of diverge, because the people in the Brotherhood of Steel just tried to murder you for no real reason other than just
get rid of you.
To get rid of you.
Literally,
you
just
were
get
annoying.
you away.
You were annoying, but now that you're in, they kept their word, and every one of them has a personality. There's Vree, the scribe, and for you know how these 90s games, they have that like flavor text that they'll just say, like, seen any elves?
Yeah, yeah.
Only with her, it's a great day for learning. Oh, well, okay, that tells us her character. She's a scribe.
Mm-hmm.
And she has been doing autopsies on these super mutants, which is handy. We need to know more about these things. Well, they've been heavily mutated, but they were anyway human. Very strong. They tend to be very strong, and at least some of them also quite intelligent. But they're all sterile. And that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And she gives you a disc with that information, just for reference. And as you're investigating your other leads, just trying to figure out who these super mutants are, where they're coming from.
You get power armor when you join the Brotherhood
of
Steel, too.
You do.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
So
The power armor. If you're a coward and use power armor as opposed to the robes that just...
if you don't wear the Mad Max jacket, you
Yeah.
just ain't cutting into Fallout, baby.
Yeah. Anyway, there's two places of interest where super mutants are being sighted. One of them is a military base, which you can recruit the Brotherhood of Steel to attack with, which is cool.
It is cool.
It's got like good... I wouldn't take any of your followers with you, though.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to die.
They're going to die.
Especially the dog. You need to basically throw rocks at the dog. Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't
Don't
want
you understand, you
anymore.
stupid mutt? I don't want you anymore.
Meanwhile, everyone in the Brotherhood of Steel is tripping landmines. It's like the opening scene of Saving Private Ryan. Some guy's walking by with his intestines hanging out, and you're just having a passionate moment with your dog. I can't take you where I'm going.
Oh.
Okay, so you make it into... You push past all these super mutants, and you find the lieutenant, who was incredibly well spoken despite looking like an ogre.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, fine stock. Fine English stock. It's good to meet a fellow gentleman. You will make us...
He does have an English accent, doesn't he? I forgot about that.
You will make an exquisite addition to our army. You must be a vault dweller. No radiation. No, yes, the FEV virus will work exactly as intended. You will be more in every way. Would you like to join us, good sir? And if you say yes, you just get dunked in the goo. And then you see Super Mutant Army raid your vault to force everyone into the Super Mutant Army because you ratted them out. Like, look, he had a good accent. What was I going to do?
He told me I'd make a great super mutant.
You know what? Overseer, you never said anything cool about me. You never gave me any compliments. You just sent me out in the desert with a pistol and a flare. A flare which I had to sell to get a rope. But yeah, you destroy that base, and then you go to the cathedral where super mutants have a false front, where there's like a human religion. They're like, hey, does your life suck?
Because of course it does.
Like, you live in the Fallout universe 84 years after the nuclear war. Shady Sands isn't the NCR yet. There's not really a whole lot of law and order. Yes, my life does suck.
It's kind of what churches do in this era.
Yeah, do you lack fulfillment? Is there something you want but do not have? Is there some intangible need? It's the Ron White bit. Well, are you sitting on a beanbag naked eating Cheetos?
Yes, sir.
Well, join our group. I mean, we don't do anything nefarious. Some people join us and never get seen again. But that's because they've ascended. Well, can't argue with that.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah. So, of course, one of the followers of the apocalypse takes you into a storage room. Like, look, I found a key that goes to some kind of elevator. Good luck. So throughout the entire game, you've seen that humanity is kind of on its back foot, but it is recovering. Like the people who leave the vaults, things don't always go very well. Some of them turn to ghouls, but most of them just get eaten by a death claw, or they starve, or get succumb to radiation poisoning, but they're hanging on. Super mutants, on the other hand, are on the upswing. They don't have any problems at all, except for the fact they can't reproduce naturally. And the fact that in order to create an intelligent super mutant, you need to have someone without exposure to the weakened version of the FEV virus, which went everywhere after the war. You need someone who is completely pure to get the pure stuff, to get the cool
Vault
mutants.
dwellers.
Yeah, you need vault dwellers. And as you are sneaking your way or shooting your way through the super mutants, you come to a very long, goopy hallway, and you meet the Master. Now, the Master is... The backstory is he was Harold's friend who managed to get out of the Nickelodeon GAC. And he became... And due to his...
You don't have to hear the whole story from Harold, by the way. That
Yeah.
You should note that. You
Yeah.
don't. You don't ever have to connect this guy to a random NPC,
You
which is beautiful flavor.
You just kind of piece it together as you go. You figure out...
Beautiful flavor.
He doesn't look like anything. He just kept mutating over and over again. Over time, he started injecting himself to mutate more because he found, like, he was intelligent before. He was a philosopher and a scientist, Renaissance man. And now that he's super intelligent, he's thinking even faster. And now he has grafted himself to a computer system at an old military base that he has built a cathedral on top of.
That's another thing, is this is just beautiful classic 50s sci-fi. This is just pure dime store novel, and that's what I love about Fallout 1 compared to Fallout 3.
Yeah, and you come across this horrifying... he's got like a human face, an eyeball, and a stalk, and there's like a computer stating binary, and in a very pleasant tone of voice, one of 4 that he has.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it.
He just you calmly approach this guy on his little pedestal, and he says, "So what will it be? Will you join the Unity, or will you die here?" And it's Winnie the Pooh telling you this.
I know, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's Winnie the Pooh and some female voice actress. I don't remember her name, but they're all good. It's hard to get one voice actor for a game, a good voice actor. They gave the Master 4.
And they're all killing it. They
gave the Master 2 with 2 different sets of voice lines.
This game came out in 95, 96.
Something like that, yeah.
So, yeah, the fact that these were good voice actors for this computer game, that's incredible.
And
because we all saw Command and Conquer.
Yeah. So he's got, the Master has several personalities. He has different brains. He's always thinking from different angles because he's assimilated other creatures, other humans, as part of his experiments, but now he is just the Master, and he is leading a new civilization of super mutants capable of dealing with the wasteland. And this is the part where the game really starts to diverge sharply from the approach that Fallout 3 takes. Because there's no percentage, there's no speech check with 100% saying, convince him to kill himself.
Right.
That's your goal, but you need to figure out what could make him doubt himself.
You have to role play.
You're
given a lot of options.
Oh, yeah.
There's not just 3 options on the screen.
There's
this
a lot.
Is good old-fashioned Black Isle, 8 different things to choose.
And there's a very particular set of them you need to hit, because if you piss him off, he will just kill you. His patience is running thin because he's the smartest thing in the world. He's got it figured out. He doesn't understand why you're being so negative Nancy about his plan of converting all of humanity into super mutants and sterilizing those who refuse to ensure a homogenous super mutant world. And
the sterilization was on purpose. I forgot about that.
It is it's sterilization or death. He doesn't want to kill every human, but he doesn't want them breeding.
Right.
As long as there are differences, we will tear ourselves apart fighting each other. And I love that part where he'll have angry voice lines stuttered in between calm and utterly collected, and then occasionally you'll get female voice lines in between that when he's feeling particularly emotive. It's great and it's really impacting.
It is. It really is.
Like, who else is going to rebuild the world? The normals? They're the ones that brought the world to this. The ghouls? Only the super mutants can fix this. And you have to convince... you can't talk him down on moral grounds. He's already come to grips with the fact that he thinks this is necessary.
Mm-hmm.
You have to convince him that his plan is flawed. And it's not as simple as giving him the disc. Because you give him the disc that says that mutants are sterile, he says it's a forgery. So you have to ask...
Fake news.
Yeah, it's fake news. You have to ask him... you have to ask a super mutant female if she or anyone else has gotten pregnant in the decades that you have been doing this. He says this is a reasonable request, and he realizes that there have been no live births in his super mutant army. And that is when he just immediately starts breaking down.
Yeah, that's the crap. And that's such a good angle to go for. It's very Phoenix Wright.
And it's
like he's going to hold it.
Objection.
Like, can you prove beyond the shadow of a doubt that there's been a pregnant female super mutant?
It cannot be. That would mean that all my work has been for nothing. Everything a failure. It can't be.
It's so good.
That descending crescendo of female and male voice lines getting sadder and more defeated. And then I don't think I can continue to have done the things I have done in the name of progress and healing. It was madness. I see that now. Madness.
It's so good.
I guess it's really a touching moment too.
It really is.
He like I can't keep doing this. You could try to cheer him up, and it's kind of funny. Like, dude, maybe you just need to work harder on the super mutants. You know what? You're right. I need specimens. Thank you. You really saved my bacon there. And he tries to kill you. No, you just need to just let him talk. Like, I gotta end. I'm going to end this. Get out of here. Leave while you still have hope. Okay, so you have just confronted the ideology that's driving everything in the background. The super mutants aren't in your face from the beginning. They're pretty hidden. Mm-hmm. You have to figure them out. Then you have to figure out why they're doing what they're doing. And then you have to confront it either by killing everything or just explaining why it's doomed. And when you do convince the guy who's got it all figured out that he does not, in fact, have it all figured out, that there's a critical flaw and everything he's been working towards, everything he's done, atrocities in the name of, is doomed. He's immediately broken to the point where he's just going to destroy himself and the whole project. And he tells you to leave while you still have hope.
It's a super interesting last boss because you don't fight him.
You don't, not necessarily.
And this is a game where combat can be a huge part of the game, and it's a very fun combat.
Yeah.
And it normally when games do this sort of thing, you feel defeated doing it, but it just feels right for the game to have come to this. And what's most important about defeating this boss in this way is that his last interaction with you is to tell you to save yourself.
Like he doesn't even think that humans have a chance. He just wants to preserve that little stupid idealistic spark in you.
Yep.
He's that leftist who looks at a 17-year-old who thinks he can change the world, make everything a better place. Leave Twitter while you still have hope. It was madness. Like some 17-year-old on Twitter, like, look, there's a lot of Democrats in Kentucky. We can really make a difference here. Leave. Leave while you still have hope. So you leave, and he destroys the cathedral, and the super mutants are scattered to the four winds. Your vault is safe. You have water, and there's not a super mutant army ready to turn them all into the Incredible Hulk.
And so you go home.
Yeah, you go home.
And This is my favorite video game ending. Almost. In fact, I think this might be one of my favorite endings to a Western video game ever.
The Overseer is so proud of you. You can really see it in his voice. Like he's exasperated beyond belief, like of all the things you've done, everything you've seen. And as he's talking about how proud he is of you, he's working himself up to his primal fear. Everyone will want to talk to you. They'll want to see the things you've seen, do the things you've done. They'll want to leave the vault. You just gave us back all these lives. I can't risk losing them. I'm sorry.
It's great. It's fantastic.
You saved us, but you'll destroy us. You're a hero, and you have to leave.
It's a great ending. Like I said, it might be my favorite ending to a Western game. Well, I guess Ghost of Tsushima occupies a very odd space there, but it's very much actually. Wow, there's actually shades of that there because at the end of Ghost of Tsushima, spoiler alert, when Lord Shimura he's ordered by the Shogun to kill you, and he says like he has to preserve the honor of Tsushima, and Jin's like, "And my head is the cost," and Shimura's like, "Your head is my punishment, Jin." Like it's really cool when a video game or any art, but video game feels more visceral because you're playing this character. When they could set up a situation where an ally has no choice but to combat you, and it's just extremely emotional. And like, of course, the vault leader doesn't combat you. You sort of leave with
You can kill him if you're quick enough on the draw, or if you have the bloody mess perk, I think, or if you have a low reputation.
Really?
Or karma. It'll automatically trigger. But there's like you can't get back in the vault. Like you can like get revenge. Like you can spitefully kill the guy who's banishing you.
Right.
And then you just walk into the wasteland. That's just like that final CGI, that iconic scene of the lone vault dweller.
And it's still iconic to Fallout, even in this new Bethesda era. That image of the
guy with the
Vault 13 dweller
leaving. Your head looking down at your feet, just going nowhere in particular.
And it's
And compare and contrast that ending to the ending of Fallout 3.
Oh my god!
Do you have you're the instigator of a lot in Fallout 1. Like you're not the prime person, but you're taking an active part in the story.
You're the Spock.
Yeah. Like you have been told to go investigate the super mutants, and that is there are people who are investigating this, but you're the guy getting the followers of the apocalypse and the Brotherhood of Steel thinking in the same direction, looking at this as not just a curiosity of the wasteland, but a tangible threat. So you're like building something that was already there. In Fallout 3, your dad just happens to be behind a water purification project, and he's had this whole grand adventure, and everyone really respects him, and they really like your ability to shoot things. I mean, like you don't have an idea. You don't have an ideology. You're not doing anything. You're just like being told to do things by different people while they do things. Like you follow your dad to a water purification project. Enclaves show up out of nowhere. You're not given any indication that they're a thing.
Right.
And then they show up and they kill your dad. Well, they killed your dad. You must want revenge really bad, huh? I guess. So, like, let's go talk to the Brotherhood of Steel. Who are they? Oh, they live in the Pentagon. Oh, yeah, I ran into those guys. They didn't talk to me. Well, don't worry. I can speak to them because I know they know me. They know me. And it turns out the Brotherhood of Steel are all good guys. They don't try to... They're just kind of dicks.
Right.
Like there's no depth to any of them.
They're less they're less brutalistic cult and more jocks.
Yeah. And like there's no real there's lions, like the daughter of the leader or something like that. And that's all they're like in the first game. All of them have like a unique personality. The door guard isn't really that mean. He just sends you out on the death mission because that's what he was told to do. He's kind of a doofus.
Right.
Then you go inside and there's like a drill sergeant. What the bloody hell are you doing here? But in there, it's just lions like, okay, all right, guys, since you've made it to this part of the game, here's what's going on. We're going to fight the Enclave, and we're going to build this robot, and you're going to follow the robot. And the robot's going to do all the hard work. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about getting any kills in the last part of this game. The robot's going to take you where you need to go. Okay, now that you've followed the pointer to where the water, like there's a computer. You need to press a button. Oh, but first you need to face Colonel Autumn and of course President Eden. And you know how in the first Fallout game, you have to convince the Master in a very roundabout way, several times, slowly break down his worldview. In Fallout 3, you just say, hey, you know what's cool? Killing yourself. I suppose it is. Very well. I'll put an end to the Enclave. By the way, Colonel Autumn is up to something. He doesn't like my plan to kill everyone in the wasteland.
His like, and because the Master, like you said, that's just a beautiful way they did that. And the one in Fallout 3 just feels like a poorly handled Saren. Like, that's what it feels like. Like, because with Saren, it was still cool.
Yeah.
They,
Look, I've done the thinking on this, and this is the only way we're going to survive. Mm-hmm. But in the Enclave, it's like, I don't like ghouls, and I don't like mutants, and I don't like humans that have slightly mutated DNA. I don't care how white they look. They are thugs, and they must die.
You literally, the line is literally like, hey man, why don't you just fucking kill yourself?
I am taking that poison. I'll fulfill your plan, but you should still kill yourself. And Colonel Autumn is rebelling against this plan of genocide, but you can't bring that up with him. You don't know what his plans are. It seems like he just really wants the water purification project to have an American flag made in the USA stamped on it instead of being that liberal Liam Neeson's doing. But like when you meet Colonel Autumn, what does he say when you walk in that door? You again? So what will it be? Do you join the Unity? Or do you die here? Record scratch. You again.
What the what?
Wait, didn't you like get stuck in a radiation chamber? I stabbed myself with a needle, so I'm okay. By the way, okay, Colonel Autumn. Well, I won. I win, you lose. Oh, God dang it. He's got us, boys. Let's leave.
Terrible. It's Fallout 3 was our preview of Skyrim is what it was. It's awful.
I guess you win. I guess I'm gonna go. And then you can shoot him in the head as he's walking out, but Lyons will still say, I guess it's not. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that you let him go. You're such a good person because of your karma. Meanwhile, he's just lying headless on the ground. But then comes that thing we were talking about earlier, alluding to, where someone needs to press the irradiated button.
It doesn't make any sense.
You have a super mutant. One of the only good parts of that game was getting that super mutant because it's like a vault without arrows pointing everywhere. It's like a maze. You have to figure out the story of that vault, get the Gek or whatever to purify the water, and that mutant's really cool. He's one of he's the only intelligent super mutant in the game. The only sense that there's more to the super mutants than just hordes to gun down.
Yeah.
And he actually has a reason to be in the East Coast as opposed to the others who were just there. Because, it's been 200 years and we can't think of anything different or new. It has to be something from the first games to recognize. People need to know that we're cool. People need to know we played the cool game. So we put the things from the cool game
it's literally it.
Into the new game.
And I remember when I heard about Fallout 3 and that Bethesda was doing, I was like, they're going to do this shit. And everyone's like, bro, you're just being negative. You're just being negative. And now all of you hate it. You all do.
To be fair, they didn't have the NCR. Like, hi, we're the NCR. Oh, yeah, we're based out of D.C., obviously. We're the New California Republic. Oh, do you have yeah, we have a branch in California. It's not important. It's pretty lame, to be honest. No, we're the cool guys. I mean, you know how the Brothers of Steel are kind of jerks in the first game for some reason? Well, they're cool. We fixed that problem. We're completely, unabashedly the good guys. But yeah,
you have a mutant that
you
can
have
press this button with no side
immunity,
effects.
in fact, healed by radiation.
Yep. And his reasoning for why you still have to hit the button.
No, I will not rob you of your destiny.
That's it.
I could open the door. I'll throw a rock. Or I'll just jam myself up with a bunch of radiation drugs and walk myself back out.
And it doesn't even feel powerful when he says it. It doesn't. It just feels like...
just say
you remember when Spock in Wrath of Khan went into the engine room? Beautiful. Gorgeous scene. I cry every time I watch it. Because Spock knows, yes, I'll die, but that means no one else has to die. Literally no one gets hurt if this mutant does it. He will walk out feeling better than he had before he walked in.
I had a sinus headache. Cleared right up. No, my fingers are too fat. I would have accepted that.
It's a better reason than the one they
My fingers are too fat. It's like a soap opera where there's like a It's like a soap opera where there's a doctor who needs to perform a really complicated surgery that only he can do, but then he says, I can't. I have hook hands. But no, you can't. It's your destiny. It's the one thing about your character that's important, that you are willing to kill yourself to push a button.
It's the lamest. Hang on. Is it worse than Mass Effect 3's ending? I feel like it is.
I think so. I mean,
because this one didn't even try to. They didn't have to write it that way.
They did release DLC to make you live. I never played it because I stopped playing it for.
In Fallout 3?
Yeah, like something like broken whatever. There was some kind of.
Because Mass Effect 3 did the same thing.
Yeah.
Shepard takes a sharp breath.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. I would have been okay with a DLC where it's like literally just Fox going in, pressing a button with no fanfare, and everything was good. And for some reason, the Lone Wanderer poisoned everyone, including himself, because he was emphatically not born and bred in a vault. So he would have died with everyone else.
But it's to recap, Fallout 1, beautiful game. Fallout 3, irredeemable.
It's like things we'll see in Fallout 2 a proper way to build on a universe like that, and that is to build on it, not just recreate it, but build on it. And
we will talk to you guys about Fallout 2 next week.
Yeah.
Fallout 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. I can't wait to talk about it. But the thing is I played these when I was very young. Don, you probably know more about the main story than I did, because Fallout 2, I literally fucked around. Yeah,
Fallout 2, I think I played that. I replayed it because I had the same thing where I bought it in college for $10 because it was a Walmart, and I was on a budget, and that was a budgeted game. It also came with Tactics. No, that was the first time I'd ever played Tactics.
Oh, Tactics is sick.
Yeah.
Tactics is sick. But, guys, we're going to see you next week where we're talking about Fallout 2. I hope you enjoyed the show. It's very good to be back. The monologues are coming back, guys. They are. I can't. There's no more Beau to give right now, but there will be soon. And if you guys feel bad about missing them, trust me when I tell you, it sucks even worse not doing them. It really does. I feel bad, but we're going to get it back to you guys. In the meantime, Discord is always a great place to reach us. We're always active on Discord. Don has several channels that he's taking a very active role on, and it's very enjoyable. The Patreon links are still there, and the merchandise is still up for sale. I still think that shirt's cool as hell. The only reason I'm not wearing it is because it's dirty. I would have it otherwise. But most of all, damn, it's good to be talking to you guys about video games again, and we'll see you next week.